It's 5:30 a.m. from Las Vegas Boulevard. Was it a late night for me or an early morning? I'll give you 3 seconds to guess. All right. It's a late morning. I'm not that much of a DGen, but this is kind of the DGen feel because I woke up really early to come get a cash game session and a vlog for you guys. So yeah, I'm pulling up at the Bellagio because my last couple content videos have been all at the Wynn or in Resorts World, and although I love playing there, I want to mix it up, and they're a little bit more lenient now with vlogging at MGM properties, so I'm gonna try to sneak a vlog in. Also, when you have a girlfriend and it's her day off and you've been working the World Series of Poker and you haven't played cash but you want to vlog, it's this whole thing that I'm trying to balance out. And by the way, thank you guys for saying hello to me at the World Series of Poker. It's been like 6 of you, I think, more. I don't know, I'm not counting, but at the same time, I'm no Brad Owen. It feels good when you guys say hello, and so keep doing that. If you guys are at the tables and you see me rolling around with the tripod and the phone, like, say hello to me and I'll provide value by taking pictures or videos of you and then just sending it to your social so you can post it, so you can say, Mom, I made it. We're pulling up. Hopefully this cash game goes well. I've had some successful cash game sessions at 5:30 a.m. and 6 a.m. or whatever, and I've had some bad ones. So let's see how this turns out. Let's go. I've seen this B-roll from many vloggers before, but I'm showing you how empty the Bellagio is at 5:30 on a Sunday when everyone's hungover and barely going to sleep. So this is lovely. Okay, all things considered, considering that it's World Series of Poker season and it's 5:45 a.m., there's quite a few tables running. I've been here at like 5:30 a.m. on a non-World Series of Poker season, and there's only been 1-2 tables running, if that. There's like 5 right now. That's insane. So let's see what happens.
So after waiting for a while, they finally start a new 2-5 table, and I sit down with 3 other players and we agreed to just start the game with 4 players. It's a $500 max buy-in, and here we go. Our first hand is a terrible, horrendous negative EV play, but I told myself I'm going to be transparent with my viewers to show how out of line I can get, and this will help me become more accountable in the future. I'm not proud of it, but here we go. Nine-Deuce of hearts. Yes, I know, like I said, Nine-Deuce of hearts, this is what happens. We have an under the gun straddle for $10. The middle position ends up limping. I end up limping as well, and we're gonna go multi-way to a flop. The flop's gonna be 9 high. It is 9, 3, 6, 2 diamonds. We flop our top pair, and under the gun player actually leads for $40. Middle position gets out of the way. I call, and we go to the turn. The turn's gonna be a bing 9 of spades. We have 3 of a kind here, trips, and he ends up checking. So after checking here, I'm thinking that I'm probably up against some sort of flush draw, maybe a pair of 6, maybe a 6 of diamonds, hands like that decided to slow down here. And so I go ahead and bet $55, and it takes him about 15 seconds to check raise me. He check raises all in for $191 total. I have him covered as I bought in for the max. I decide to just snap call. I think our hand is really strong here to just fold and put him on a better 9. And when I call, go to the river, which is a king of hearts. He indeed shows ace 9 offsuit. He had the 9 of clubs. He had the better 9 with an ace kicker. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why you don't play trash hands like Nine-Deuce. Even if it's suited, do not play these hands. I don't, like I said, sometimes I get out of line. I'm not proud of this hand, but I promise the vlog gets juicy. And on to the next hand. In our next hand, the table finally fills and we end up topping up. We're in the small blind. There's an under the gun straddle for $10. This was a very limp happy table. As you can see, the middle position called, hijack called, cutoff calls. Everybody was limping here. We look down at 10-9 of spades, so we're of course going to raise it up. We have a strong hand here and we want to eliminate the field, get rid of hands like ace X offsuit, trash hands like jack X offsuit. So we make it $65. player to my left is a new player. He hadn't played any hand. This would be his first hand, and he ends up calling. We go heads up to the flop. The flop's gonna be 6-9-5 rainbow. All things considered, this is a great flop for us. We flop top pair with some backdoor straight draws, and we c-bet to $100. He ends up snap calling, matching the bets. I'm trying to wonder here what he would call with. I think if he had a 9, he would probably raise. Maybe he has a hand like ace-6 suited. So we go to the turn, and the turn is an 8 of spades, improving our equity. Not only do we have top pair, we have a gutter and a flush draw. So we go for value here. I end up putting him all in. I just want to go for max value here because we improved our equity. Sure, we can be behind with a lot of hands like ace-9, jack-9, you know, those hands that called. If he had a straight, he would snap call this, and he didn't snap call. So that's good news for us. He tanks for a while and ends up calling it. And the river is a 10 of clubs. We have our 2 pair. I asked if he had a 7 and he did not. He didn't show his hand, and we scoop up this nice big pot. You guys can let me know how you would have played it differently. Sure, we can probably try to check on the turn. Be cautious of any 7s that he has in his range. You guys let me know if you guys have a solver, what the solver says. Tell me what you would do on the turn, and we go to our next hand. Alright guys, buckle up because this very next hand literally is chaotic. The player to my left just got stacked by me. There's a new dealer that comes in and does not recognize the situation. As the player to my left starts pulling out cash for player's checks, she ends up skipping him. So she starts dealing everyone's hand but skips him. He recognizes what happens and is disappointed and calls her out. Says, I am the small blind. I have cash. I should get player's check. Essentially saying, you know, his cash is in play and he shouldn't have been skipped a hand. What happens next is very interesting. Listen in.
Where's my card? Why didn't get the card?
I don't know. I don't know. You wanna change or next hand? I don't know. You just got here.
I just lost the pot over
Misunderstanding.
Oh, okay.
Misunderstanding.
Okay.
Misunderstanding. He was buying back in. Misunderstanding. So what are we doing? Dead? What is it? I raised. Oh, so we're playing the hand. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
there. That's my small blind.
Oh, yeah.
We're still playing though, right?
You didn't see the money?
Yeah, I saw, but I saw you just sit down. I just got here. I don't know.
Floor. Okay. So this player before this hand busted.
Yep.
He pulled out cash.
Yep.
New dealer. She dealt him out, so he didn't get his hand when he's a small blind, but he pulled out his cash. So we're wondering if it's a dead hand.
How much action's taking place?
Straddle, raise, call.
Action proceeds as goes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't take back when there's that much action.
So as you can see, after the floor determines that there's too much action going on for the hand to be dead, the small blind player that I stacked in the previous hand ends up leaving. He's pissed. I end up calling with king 10 of hearts on the button. There was an under the gun straddle for $10 and an open over there, as you saw earlier, and we go 3 ways to the flop. The flop's gonna be king high. We flop our top pair here. It's king deuce 7 2 clubs. The pre-flop aggressor ends up checking. I bet, and the straddler gets out of the way. Pre-flop aggressor ends up calling, and we go to the turn. The turn's gonna be a 10 of clubs, giving us 2 pair, but it does complete a flush draw out there. The low jack ends up checking. I make it $45. He ends up check raising me to a min click. He makes it $100. And I end up laughing because something in my gut told me that he actually had a strong hand like aces or maybe a flush that got there. But with top 2 here, I can't go anywhere and I end up calling. And we go to a river. And the river is a bink 10 of diamonds. We have our full house, ladies and gentlemen. And even better, he ends up betting again for $200. He has about $500 behind and I have him covered. And I am thinking for a while here. Obviously, we are losing to pocket kings, but we have pocket kings blocked, and other than pocket kings, we have the best hand here, and we are going to get value from any potential flushes or even lower boats like pocket 7s that got their full house. Let's go ahead and put him all in. We go all in, and he quickly says, and I show him the full house, and everyone goes wild. Nice hand, bro, he says. He ended up having ace queen of clubs. He ended up turning a nut flush with a royal flush draw, and we ended up getting lucky on the river being city, and we end up covering him. We win this massive $1,600 plus pot coming our way. Man, did I need help at the end there, and help I got. And what's crazy is that this hand wasn't even supposed to happen. He said, we weren't even supposed to play this hand, he said. And so you guys let me know, was it the dealer's fault completely? Was it his fault for not communicating he was getting players checks because the button just slid over and he was taking out cash? It became this whole thing, and because of it, I ended up stacking the players. So, very wild there. And on to the next hand we go. If you guys are enjoying the action so far, please remember to hit that like button. It'll help my up and coming YouTube channel, especially with the algorithm. And it'll also send me luck box energy because it seems like I always need the luck on the river these days. And so if you hit that like button, it'll give me luck on the river and I can keep recording these big scoops for you guys. So yeah, hit that like button. Okay, let's go. Our next hand, we have pocket queens in the +2 position. We opened to $20. However, I didn't notice that there was a straddle behind me. I was too distracted, so if I had noticed, I would have made my sizing a lot bigger. But anyway, the small blind calls, the big blind calls, the straddler calls, so we go 4 ways to the flop. The flop comes 7, 6, 9 with 2 hearts. Very dynamic board here considering that we went multi-way. It checks to me and I end up continuation betting for $20. No need to go big here, especially when there's this many people on the pot, but we still want to get value from top pair, like maybe ace 9 or any potential draws out there. So the small blind and the big blind both call and we go 3 ways to the turn. I do definitely plan on slowing down. The turn is the jack of hearts, so it completes a flush out there and it goes check all the way around. Like I said, I'm going to definitely slow down on a card like this. The river is a king of clubs, the small blind checks, and now the big blind leads for $50. I end up flashing my cards to the player behind me, showing him that I don't block any hearts and I'm beat by any potential king. I'm also beat by already made flushes, so I end up almost folding, and then I said, you know what, I want to see it, and I end up just calling here. If the small blind raises, then I will fold, and he ends up saying it was a bluff. I said, well, you're gonna have to show the bluff, and he shows ace jack offsuit with the ace of hearts. I'm actually not surprised he didn't 3-bet this pre-flop, as this table was very passive. I ended up making the correct call. It was a dangerous call, but I ended up making the correct one, and we win this pot with our pocket queens. One of our last hands of the session, we have ace king offsuit in the big blind. Oh, and fun fact, you see the MGM card with a parking pass in my hand. The reason why it's out is because I was getting ready to leave, and if you play more than 4 hours at the Bellagio, they will comp your parking ticket. So just make sure to ask if you can get your parking comped if you parked after 4 hours, because you don't want to pay $20 for parking. So anyway, we see all the limpers, and once it gets to me, I raise it to $35. My sizing should be a lot bigger here. It should probably be like around $60, $65. Player to my left calls, the cutoff calls, and we go 3 ways to the flop. The flop's gonna be 5, 6, 9 with 2 hearts. All things considered, this board favors their range more than mine, so I probably should be checking, but I would still also be continuation betting with some overpairs here, like aces or kings. So I make it $40 to go. Player to my left calls, the cutoff gets out of the way, and we go to the turn. The turn's a 3 of diamonds. I'm definitely going to slow down now, as I don't want to keep barreling and get raised with only ace king here. So once I check, he actually does something very interesting. I'm not sure if it was an angle. I don't think it was an angle. It felt very genuine, but he ends up string betting. He puts $20 in and then 65 more. I call it out, and of course it's ruled a string bet, so he has to pull everything back except the $20 he initially put out there. So for $20, my sticky ass ends up calling, and we go to the river, which is of course an ace of clubs. We should be checking a lot of the times here, as now we have really strong showdown value, but I don't know why I ended up leading into him. I think I was trying to get paid by hands like ace 8 of hearts, or maybe a middle pair now that had top pair on the flop. So after this bad move, he ends up raising me to $200, and this is where I knew I should have just folded, but for some reason I couldn't let go of ace king and I ended up calling. He shows the bad news and shows 8, 7 of hearts. This guy flopped the nuts along with a straight flush draw. So I don't know if the string bet on the turn was an actual angle to get this sort of outcome. A lot of you guys will overthink and say, yes, it was manufactured and engineered, but I thought he was being very genuine and didn't know it was a string bet. So nice hand by him, really bad by me. I should be checking there for showdown value on the river. If he wouldn't have string bet on the turn, I would have just folded. Really bad hand. I didn't even want to put it on the vlog, but I need to be transparent about my plays, and I'm learning from them. So along with the first hand of this session, we have another really bad hand to learn from. What's up, YouTube? Unfortunately, we are now in my studio. video because I ran out of storage space while I was recording the vlog at the Bellagio. So I was like literally mid-hand. I had like ace 10. I flop top 2, go heads up with Sky, clean run out, and I get paid all 3 streets. And then I look down at my phone, and then there's this message that says iPhone storage full. So not only am I vlogging, but I'm also working at the World Series of Poker for poker.org. So I have a lot of this content on there, even though I'm uploading on Google Drive. Basically, I have to do a better job clearing out my space. So those were the 5 hands of the vlog. I know some of them I played very poorly. I shouldn't even be playing some hands. But I am a little bit rusty because I am on the road right now working a lot. So if you guys enjoyed that vlog, say hi to my dog back there anyway. If you guys enjoyed that vlog, please hit the like button. And if you're not already, please subscribe. I will be rolling out more vlogs more than regularly. And I will be making reels and shorts from that. And if you haven't already, follow me on Instagram as well. I'm more active on there with stories and just like smaller videos or updates and stuff like that, especially because I'll be in London for Triton and I'll still be covering the World Series of Poker. So thank you guys for watching.